Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raven Maureen, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 15 dress patterns that you can make this holiday season for a Christmas party, Christmas Day, whatever event you have going on. I've got something for everyone, and I'm even sharing a free pattern on here as well. So let's jump right in. Before we get started, I do want to share that there is going to be some indie patterns on here, some big 5 patterns, and I do want to mention that most of these I have made, not all of them, but most of them. So without further ado, let's get started. So my first one, and quite possibly my favorite, is McCall's 8037. This is a plunging neckline, kind of reminds me of like the J-Lo Grammy dress, but not really. And I've actually made this once. I made it around the holiday time in like this burnout black fabric that I got from, I think, a mystery box from one of the fabric stores. And I wore this on pretty much a holiday cruise. And it was wonderful. I got a lot of compliments on it, but this is perfect. It's got long sleeve options. It's a maxi dress. You can do a slit with it. And this is something that you can sew up pretty fast, because we all know around the holidays we're sewing for other people, other things, and so we may not have enough time. This is one of those dresses that you can kind of get done in a day or an afternoon, depending on how fast you sew. Number 2, 9701. Again, I'm continuing with my knit patterns for my girlies that don't have all the time, and I have made this past summer, and even though it was a summer pattern, it is long sleeves and it is a fairly longer dress, so I feel like this really translates for fall as well. Another quick, easy pattern, and this is a Mimi G dress, so you know that a tutorial does exist out there for it. I would say that if you're someone that you really like that bodycon style, this is the dress for you. I don't feel like this neckline, this shape, this silhouette, it's not going anywhere. So once you make it, you'll probably have it for a good while, and you can probably wear it into the spring too. Simplicity 9702, again, one of these dresses that I have made. I've actually made this one twice. I've made it with the short sleeve maxi version, which I actually made in the springtime, which has served me well, honestly, through, I should say, this past year. I've worn it in the spring, the summer, and even in the beginning of the fall. And then I actually made the shorter version with the longer sleeve for the fall, and I've been wearing that pretty often as well. So if you're someone where you do like a little bit more room, you like the blousey look, maybe, you're someone who, likes that silhouette, then definitely pick this one up or make it. And I would say that the shorter version is probably a lot quicker to get through than the longer one. If you don't like gathers, don't make this dress, because you'll be gathering for days. So this next one I haven't made yet, but it is on my wish list. This is Simplicity 9286. This is a pattern by Gertie. And if you don't know Gertie, then she's someone who actually makes like vintage style patterns. This is her aesthetic. This is what she's known for. And so this pattern is a vintage inspired pattern. And it wasn't until I saw it on like a real person on social media that I really was like drawn to this pattern. I had completely ignored this pattern before, I'll be very honest with you, but I think it's perfect for the holidays, whether you like that poofy version or if you like the really fitted version. Either way, like, this is something that you can wear to a work holiday party. You can wear it to any sort of church event if you wanted to, around your family, wherever. It is so versatile. It just works, and I feel like it's such a classic style that this is something that you could pull out for years on end. All right, so the next one is McCall's 8032. I've seen this one up and down my timeline, specifically around this time of the year, and I have to say, like, if there was ever a pattern where someone just constantly used metallics, this is it. Like, I don't know specifically if like there's like a blueprint or something, but everyone uses metallics with this pattern. I think it's a gorgeous pattern. Again, one of those patterns that I didn't even look at until I saw a silver one on my Instagram, and I was like, oh, what pattern is this? Mccalls. Like, it was like that. So this is a 3/4 sleeve length dress. It's got a lot of ruffle details. I would imagine that if you don't like gathers, you may not want to pick this one either, but I do like that this is a fairly simple silhouette with like a jewel neckline and something, and obviously something that you could do a little bit more fancy fabric with it, right? So everyone loves a good turtleneck dress. There's McCalls 7999. That's a lot of nines. And this pattern, I have seen it when it first came out. I felt like everyone was getting it. Everyone was doing the bodycon dress. I have seen this in really wonderful prints. I have seen it in really great solids. And again, this is a knit pattern where if you don't have a lot of time, you can sew this up in one day, one afternoon. And the inspo on this is endless. There are other patterns that are turtleneck style that pretty much are kind of like the same to that. There's the Nico dress as well by True Bias. And then of course this dress. And honestly, between those two patterns, you can really find a lot of inspiration for how to dress up this turtleneck. So the next one is newer to the Mcalls lineup, and this is Mcalls 8435. This is a personal favorite of mine. Again, something that I haven't been able to get into yet, but this is like the color block dress. And there's a couple of different versions. There's like the mommy and me version where you can actually get one for your daughter and make it for her, and then you guys can have matching dresses. This is just something where I feel like this is the holiday dress, right? Because there is the little daughter version or the mommy and me version, and there's just so many ways that you can make this. And I've seen it a lot with ready-to-wear stores like Banana Republic, J. Crew, H&M. They all have their own variation of this dress, and you can make yours too, probably for more than half the cost if you were to shop at any of those places. Okay, so this is one of my personal favorites and one that I have made twice in a knit and 2 or 3 times in the woven version. Either way, this is Mcalls 8339, and I love this dress, and I have specifically worn it for special occasions. I have made the white one, and I've worn that to an award ceremony for my husband. I am wearing the pink one. I actually wore this for a bachelorette dinner for one of my friends who got married this year. This is the dress if you're, you know, trying to have illusions with like your midsection or something. And I know, and I speak that from experience, my midsection is not the teeny tiniest thing. And so I love that knotted version. That way it doesn't, you know, really show all of my flaws that I'm self-conscious about. So I love this pattern because I feel like I can still be cute and sexy and still like kind of, you know, play up with those illusions and those style lines. I will say this is, again, another easy dress that you can really make in an afternoon if you have it. And there is a sew along for it. I believe Mimi G made the sew along, and the knot looks intimidating, but once you look at the sew along, you're gonna get it. Okay, now this one is for my jumpsuit girlies because I know that not everybody loves a dress, but I have to call out Mcalls 8009. I specifically wore this for Frocktails this year, and this is a special occasion jumpsuit. I know that maybe the cover of the pattern doesn't look like it's that dressy, but it is quite dressy. There is an overlay and a lining and this and that, and it really is a lot, but at the same time, like, it's so worth it. So if you have time, this is something I would say work on throughout the month of December, and maybe save it for New Year's or for Christmas or something like that, but you're going to need a little bit of time for this one. So this jumpsuit is on my wish list. I have this pattern and I ran out of time this summer to make it, but this is Mcalls 8119. This jumpsuit has a couple of different views. So there is a long sleeve and pants view, and then there is a shorts view, and then there's also a sleeveless view. So the possibilities are really endless with this jumpsuit, but I feel like, again, if you're really not into kind of like having a dress, but you still want to look sexy and cute and whatnot, this is probably one of those patterns, and it's the opposite of 8009, where this one has more of a jewel neckline if you're not into the V-neck. Okay, so I'm going to jump into some indie patterns now. So first, I want to talk about the orchid dress by one of my favorite pattern designers, Chalk and Notch. I have made this dress twice. And the first time I made it, I actually wore it on Mother's Day and took some really great pictures with my family and also with Joe. And one thing I will say about this dress, there is a longer version you can make, and you can also make it with like a bell long sleeve, which I think is really cute and also great for cooler weather. This is kind of like a faux wrap dress, and it has a little bit of like a drawstring in the middle to kind of cinch that waist a bit, and then there's like a mini slit in the middle as well for like that little flirty look. But this dress all in all is perfect for the holidays, and I believe there is a kids version or some sort of like variation of it for kids with chalk and notch. So the next one is the Laura dress by True Bias. I have this pattern, I haven't made it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I love this pattern. I was so excited when I saw this pattern come out in the summer, and obviously Kelly had the forethought to make a strap version and then a sleeve version. That way you can make this for spring and summer, fall and winter. Obviously I would suggest making the sleeve version if you live in cooler parts of the States, but also there is a longer version as well, which I think is really, really cool. This is one of those patterns as well where there's endless inspiration online. A lot of people have already started making it, and it's been getting pretty good reviews. So I feel like this dress is the answer to the Laura dress, or maybe it's like a cousin to the Laura dress, I would call it. And this is the Pauline dress by Closet Core Patterns. So I would say if you're not into the buttons that you see on the Laura dress, but maybe you like that there's like the extra gathers under the bust line, it's a different neckline, it's more square, and it's still fitted through the waist and the hips, this is probably the dress. And the other thing with the Pauline dress, there is a version with straps, and then there's a long sleeve version as well, and then there's a short version of the skirt and a longer version of the skirt too. So you see how these two are cousins? Yeah, definitely cousins, but I really, really like both. I haven't purchased the Pauline one yet, but I really like it, and it was one that I was definitely considering at the top of 2024. So this next dress, I mean, if you look up the hashtag goes on for pages. This is the Magnolia Dress by Deer and Doe Patterns, and I have seen this dress up and down my Instagram specifically for special occasions and for Christmas for a few years now. And I think that this is a gorgeous dress. It's a faux wrap dress from Deer and Doe Patterns. It's got a long sleeve version, and I think there's another version as well. I'm going to put up the line illustrations for you. But this is one of those dresses where it's just a classic style. And from what I can tell, a lot of people really enjoy it, and they've made it more than once. Kicking myself that I haven't made this yet, but I'm definitely going to be looking at that dress for 2024 as well. And my last one is a free pattern from Peppermint Magazine. This is the Milton Pinafore, which I have been eyeballing for a minute. I'm kind of intimidated by the V-neck because I'm a larger bust girl, but I think this is like so cute. So pinafores to me are quintessential with the holidays because it's great for layering. You put like a little turtleneck underneath, or you pair it with something else and you have like a great hat with like stockings and booties. I think it's like a really great look. And so this pinafore, I would say out of all the pinafores that I've seen as far as patterns, is probably my favorite silhouette because it does have that V and it's got that bust line right there. So I'm going to give you a bonus pattern that I do like from Peppermint Magazine, and it is the everyday dress. I have made this dress for New Year's. I altered mine a little bit, but again, this is another dress with countless inspiration, and I highly encourage you, again, if you don't have a lot of time, maybe you're not comfortable with knits, but you like using wovens and you feel like you want to hack something, this is the dress. Like I said, I altered mine a little bit, but it is still that same pattern. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming by. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to follow me at Raven Maureen on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. See you next time. Bye.